Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Uh, Today, we're going to be joined by a very special guest, Daniel Zepeda.
The sauce.
The sauce, yes. So, hey, Daniel, welcome to the podcast, man. We're really excited to have you on. For people who don't know who you are, can you give us a little intro, talk a little bit about yourself, just so everybody knows who you are?
Yeah. I'm Daniel Zepeda. I go to Gilroy High School, and I'm a junior, California state champ. Number one in the country.
That's right.
We figured he was going to win anyway. We were calling it Daniel whenever we saw the matchup. We were like, Daniel's going to be.
I told people you were going to stick him, and everybody, I think that was badass, man. You had a great match. But so tell us a little bit about that, Daniel. How was that process for you? What do you think? Did they just reach out to you? And, how did that go? And how did that match come about for you guys to be able to have that?
So I kind of already had an idea that I was going, but I was just waiting to get the call. And when I was out there, I was on a unofficial to ASU, and they ended up calling me, and they already had Bo locked in. So that part kind of confused me because I thought I was the man.
Because he competed earlier in the summer at he wrestled the twins, right? He was at 120 pounds, and he just shot up all the way to 38s with you.
Yeah.
We were surprised too because we thought they would have offered you somebody else, right? And what did they tell you about that? They just talk to you about that process, it's going to be Bo and it's going to be you.
So what they called me and they're like, "Oh, are you interested in taking this match? We have Bo Bassett at 38." And I was just like, "Yeah, I'll take the match." What did you say? I thought I was gonna get Landon Robideau because to me he was the next best guy.
I figured that's what it was going to be too. I figured it'd be you and Robideau because he's been pretty consistent top of the heat for a while now. So
yeah, he's very consistent. I think he's really good, and I thought he was going to be the guy that I was going to go against.
Now, have you gotten that matchup with him yet?
I haven't wrestled him since 7th grade, so no.
They lock you in. They tell you, hey, we're going to fly you out here or whatever. What did you think about the whole experience? I mean, from us outside watching, what can you tell people? What was pretty exciting about that, or what did you take away from that?
You meet a lot of people, and they treat you really nice out there. You get a lot of good gear, and I got a chance to talk to Austin Gomez, which was awesome. You just get to meet a lot of people, and I mean, there's so many good wrestlers there that I look up to, and I just get to talk to them. It's awesome.
So after your match, did you get any type of feedback, or did you get a few more college coaches reach out to see if kind of bring you on and get some visits out there?
Yeah, so I tell people it was the first day of recruiting again. It was crazy. My phone was blowing up.
In the match, though, right? You getting ready to go. You're getting all amped up. First of all, did you have any interaction with him? I know they do a little press conference and stuff like that, but did he say anything to you? Did you guys talk at all?
I've talked to his dad a little bit before, but I didn't really talk to him. I just I like to keep it a little quiet before I go.
When you're ready to come out, right? You guys were coming out. The lights are on. Can you describe that a little bit? Was it just adrenaline was pumping? Hey, I'm gonna go out there and do what I do best, or what was going through your mind?
So I've been on a big stage like that. California State Finals is big like that. Fargo Finals was big, but the moment didn't really hit me until I was in the match and we got in that first exchange, and it went crazy. You just felt everything shaking. When the people were yelling, it was rumbling.
Wow.
Now, did that first exchange, that was a really good scramble, first off, but did that exchange kind of surprise you a little bit? We haven't really seen him scramble like that in matches before.
Yeah, it did. And the crowd didn't really help it either because they were screaming.
But that seems like that's kind of your comfort zone. I mean, we've known you for a long time now, and you've always been really, really good in the scramble. Everything's real fluid, and you look very comfortable there.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of learned wrestling backwards. I learned how to scramble before I learned the basics, and that really helped me.
Now, where did you guys get that? Because your brother's that way too. Moses, I mean, you guys are both really good in the scramble. So how did that come about? How you say, where you guys got taught backwards? Who drilled you guys and trained you guys that way first?
So, I mean, when I was little, we seen Jesse Delgado wrestling, and that's just the way I wanted to wrestle.
Yeah, that very dynamic, very. I've always told people it's funny because we watch you since you were a kid, and I tell people like Daniel Zepeda at his best, you're just gonna have a hard time beating him, right? Because you do things that most kids they're unwilling to do in positions like that scramble, that initial scramble, and then you settle down and then you start like little movements just to get yourself into the right body mechanics was unbelievable to watch. Very technical match, but to dominate the way that you did and then to put him on his back. I mean, what was your confidence just building and rolling as you were going?
So when I first thought I had Bo, I was confident in the match. Like, and DC does a good job of building our confidence. He's like, "You got this. Like, you could go get this guy." And with DC just feeding me and I'm feeding myself, it's like I was already confident going in there, but I just reassured myself the way I was wrestling.
When did you realize like this is it, man? I'm gonna beat this kid and I'm gonna stick him. Like in the match when you were in the, or was it like you said, you just went in there, you already knew what you wanted to do, but did you ever like you feel him like just break underneath you at any moment?
Yeah, so at the start of that third, he cut me and I knew I could go get a takedown like easy. So he shot and I hit a re-attack and it was easy. So then I was like, he's been cutting me all match. I'm gonna let him up. And he faked, and as soon as I get in on that leg, I was like, it's over.
Funny. So where does the confidence come from, man? Because even in Fargo, like one of the big videos, I think Flo or somebody put on there where they're like kind of talking to you about, oh man, you're gonna get like 5 more points or whatever it was. I forget exactly the wording, but where does that come from, man? Because you always seem to have like that really high confidence. You're really confident in your abilities.
Yeah, I mean, just all the work I've done, even from when I was little, and then I kind of got this chip on my shoulder. Like, I think I'm better than everyone else thinks I am, so I just got to go prove it.
You got a lot of little guys coming up. They probably look up to you. You run in places and they're like, "Oh, that's Daniel." What do you tell them like when they see the things that you can do on the match? Is there something you can tell them and say, "Hey guys, if you keep working or if you do this, you got." How do you help them kind of develop themselves? Like you're saying, you've got that confidence. You walk into that match already like that. A lot of kids don't have that right starting off. But what could you tell them or what do you say to them?
What I tell most people is like, you got to be really coachable. And if you go into practice and work everything your coaches tell you to, and then you go out and do it in the match, you're going to succeed 90% of the time.
That's really good. So now that you guys are getting ready for the season, get started. How does it change for you? I mean, you're an older classman, you're a state champ. Are you one of the leaders in the room?
Yeah, for sure. After that, I feel like I really stepped things up, and I just want to show people that we're the best team, and I'm trying to elevate our guys so that way they have that confidence that we're the best in the country.
Let's talk about your team a little bit. I mean, you guys have this year, I mean, on paper, and again, depending who's there or whatever, but you guys are going to look very good and make some big noise. I mean, can you talk about that going into the season? What you guys are thinking? Like, how does that feel? And then and the second follow up would be having a guy like DC in your corner, right? How does that build in that room? I mean, I got to believe that that gives you tons of confidence for all of you guys to be able to go out there and say we can compete with anybody.
Yeah, so it's almost the same as we started last year. Like last year, I thought we were the favorites to win it, even though everyone else had a really good team. And I just think like this year, I'm me and DC, we talk about it. We just focus on the guys that don't normally go out and do good, that we need to win maybe 1 or 2 more matches. Because like everyone knows we have our guys that are gonna go do our things. And we need those guys that aren't expected to do that to really step up and do something. So those are the guys we're pushing the most.
That makes sense because, like you said, you guys. I mean, I think you guys are the only team that I can remember in the recent, in recent memory that you guys are basically returning 4 state champs. I mean, you had Mero who probably would have won last year too if he didn't get hurt. You have you and the twins. I'm assuming Moses. Moses is going to get in there. Moses is really good. So I mean, you guys on paper got to be one of the favorites going into the
Yeah,
season.
and then we got a few guys that they can be a state finalist, but they just need to put a few more things together. And those are the guys we're working on.
Like so in the room, I mean, obviously, talk a little bit about like DC, what he's done for you guys in the program, what like just having him in the room as a coach, what is that doing for you guys and elevating that program to that next
I
level?
mean, you could see it in me. I'm a good example. Coach Varela was there since I was little, and he gave me a good base. But DC's just taking me to the next level. He's the stuff he shows, the counter offense. He's a he has a great mind. He can really break things down and help us with technique and stuff like that, or just match tactics.
there anybody else in there too that's jumping in there? I think Coach Gary Abbas, is he in the room now too? For you guys, or is
Yeah, we got Jerry in the room. I love him. He's a perfect mix of like good technique and a little bit of craziness.
Yeah, I was like, he fits your style perfectly with what he's doing.
Total chaos, but he's so deliberate about what he does.
Yeah, I love it. He pushes me a lot, and he's just good to talk to. He's a great mind too.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Now, Daniel, how do you guys I mean, obviously DC is your guys' head coach, but he's so busy and all his other stuff that he does. How do you guys find that consistency? I mean, he's probably not at every practice. So how do you guys get that consistency and keep developing with him being gone a lot, probably?
Yeah, so he's there actually a lot of the time, but obviously he's going to miss a few practices because he's a busy guy. And that's where I think me, the twins, and Merrill really have to step up, and we have to make sure everyone's still pushing even though he's not there. Whether it's Tony Andrade running practice, or it's Jerry running practice, or Coach Porter, we all have to put the same effort and make sure everyone's doing what they have to.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys leading by example, I think that's only going to help the younger guys to see, look, well, if they're doing it right, that's the example we should be following. And any of those little guys, right? They look up to you guys and say, oh my God, I could be one day, that could be me at who's number one. If I put in the energy, the effort, and the work, look what he did. I can do that. So that's important. I think that's really good, man. Like your brother, right? Do you drill a lot with your brother? Or do you roll around? Do you guys do any funk rolling and work through that together?
Brother's actually my favorite partner. Like whenever I have a chance to grab him, I'll grab him.
Who's the better scrambler?
So I feel like I have a little bit more feel for the position, but he is like crazy strong. You wouldn't even expect it.
That big this year makes the lineup, right? Wherever you guys get him, he's ready to make that big noise, and he's done it at the national level. He's been there. He's been consistently doing those things. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch both of you guys this year.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I tell people, he might get better than me, and I'm kind of scared. That dude's gonna catch me.
That's funny. Well, at least you guys are a few weight classes apart, so you don't really got to worry about it too much, right? Speaking of that, and you could tell us if you're not tell us, it's kind of however you want to do. So, what weight are you targeting this year?
This year it kind of depends. So I'm gonna go ahead and hydrate for 44. But there's some people at 50 that I'm trying to chase down, so I might go up to 50.
I like that.
That's
so
good.
So who are you trying to catch at 50s?
He's actually my friend. I might try to go up and wrestle Miguel Estrada because I heard he's going for 4 this year.
There you go.
Nice. I like. Hey,
dude, that's it, man. Go get after it. That's good.
I like that. I mean, me and Juan have always kind of said that you have, like you said earlier, you have a little chip on you because we've seen that in a few of your matches with Aiden and Valencia. You guys had that little rivalry a little bit last year, and I think you beat him at Doc B, right? I think it was at Doc B,
right.
And you could just tell in that match, like he just didn't want any after a few of the periods, and you could tell it was like Daniel's gonna get him. Daniel, you were on the gas.
Yeah, it's cool because like these guys are my childhood friends, but when we're on the mat, we're all really competitive, and I love that dynamic for us. I mean, I feel like he's the one that helped me push to the next level and helped me get where I am.
You know what? Whether or not he wrestles this year in high school or not, but
We're talking about Aiden.
Yeah, it would be one of those guys that would be at maybe 44s or maybe wherever, right? Maybe. That would be another thing. But I suspect you probably won't see him, but we'll see. Right? Yeah. Going after Miguel is huge, man. That would be awesome, right? And depending where Miguel ends up too, right? Because Miguel probably making a decision whether he goes 52s or he goes 57s or whatever.
Yeah, and Miguel's he's big, man.
He's good. I just I need that healthy competition to push myself to get better.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Steel sharpens steel, right?
Yeah, no, that's a great mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if there's a lot of guys who would just hide from that or say, "No, I'm going to go under them," and they start doing the math, right? But getting after it, like when they realize that the wins and the losses, they come at who are you competing against? Who are you trying to compete against? That matters more, in my opinion, than when people say, "Well, look, he just lost to that guy, or beat that guy." That's a top-ranked guy. or he's just killing fish, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's not going to help you grow. But so you said you made some, you went and did a couple college visits, right? Is that something you're able to talk about right now, or are you still kind of making a decision on what you want to do?
Yeah, so I just came back from NC State, so I got the sweater on still.
We thought you were
That
already
was an
committing already. We're like, oh,
Yeah,
he's gonna commit on our show.
I just came back from the visit. That was an awesome visit. They got something good over there.
So how many different colleges have you seen so far?
I've been to Oregon State, Michigan State, and NC State and Stanford.
So you like certain things about any one of them, or each one's kind of different, or is certain one speaking to you a little bit more?
So they're all a little bit different, obviously, but they have like the same ideas. Everybody wants to win. Everyone wants to get better. And for me, I'm looking for good RTC and people who will push me and help me be better in the room, in the classroom, just in life in general.
man, that's good. Hopefully, I mean, you got time, right, to make a decision. You don't have to rush into anything. But I gotta believe that the world is kind of your oyster right now, right? Everybody wants Daniel Zepeda, right? It's you're one of the blue chip recruits, and you earned that right to do so. So, what's the next big thing right now? Are you just focusing on the season? Are you thinking about next year too? Maybe doing Fargo again or something big?
Yeah, I want to compete as much as possible. I like to go out and compete against the best guys. Like, I was kind of bummed this year that I didn't get to go to Super 32, but it is what it is.
We were looking forward to seeing you guys kind of go out there
Yeah.
too. That'd have been nice to see you guys out there. Now, speaking of the wrestling, you say you want an RTC and all that. Do you like freestyle over folk style, or it doesn't really matter?
So I used to be a super big scramble guy. I can still scramble, but I like freestyle more now because it's helped me improve my wrestling overall. Like, if you want to get better at wrestling and jump levels, you have to wrestle freestyle.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of our mindset too.
It's something to be said. I think, unfortunately, like even in some places, in California, it's not like overly big. You guys are one of the power programs that absolutely does it. Poway does it consistently. So I think that's huge. But if you're saying that that's, for the kids out there, like, hey, guys, I would definitely encourage you go out there and do some freestyle. Go get into these different positions. I think that's huge. As a whole, California kind of is catching up to the rest of some other states that are always doing freestyle or doing other styles. But I think California is making a big move, man. I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, we're California. We're supposed to be good on our feet. Why aren't we wrestling freestyle? And it just like helps positioning. Okay. Yeah, I just feel like freestyle helps your positioning and like it helps you get more back to baseline and you're not just giving up, falling to your hip and rolling around. That's why I think it's a lot better than folk style.
Who is somebody that you have modeled yourself? You talked a little bit about Jesse Delgado earlier, but who else has been somebody that's influenced you from a wrestler perspective that you look up to, that you love that scramble? You're like, man, I'm gonna go try that. That looks pretty cool. Who's that? Somebody that's kind of been like that for you?
Yeah, so since I was little, I was blessed to be part of this great program and just watching all those guys when I was little, like Paul Fox, Willie Fox, Nico Villarreal. Those guys all helped me since I was little, and I've always wanted to be like them. Now, what I watch a lot of is like international wrestling. So I forget his name, but I like that guy that he rolled up Sebastian Rivera in the finals at Worlds. He was from Dagestan. No, he was from Dagestan, but he moved over to Hungary, I think. Yeah, he's super explosive, and just his counterattacks, his attacks, everything's just so sharp, and it's just someone good to watch.
So do you do that a lot now, Daniel? Like you were saying, you watch a lot of like different international wrestlers and try to emulate some of the stuff that they do.
Yeah, so that's something that I've gotten into a little more. Like before, I was like, it's hard to explain. Someone explained it to me before, but like, I wrestled, but I wasn't a wrestler. And now I feel like I'm a wrestler now because everything I do is to get better, and like watching film, or like I didn't go to Super 32, but I was watching 38s and 44, and I was watching everyone wrestle, and I was looking at like how how they can improve, or like what their weaknesses and their strengths are, and I feel like that's just a big part of wrestling.
Oh, that's huge, man. Well, that's like a big growth for you, right? Like just to be able to do that now and sit down and break down film and watch it. That's pretty good. I mean, that's maturing. So, what do you think? What do you attribute that to? Like, is just your mindset changed? Like, look, I really need to be more focused. This is important. I need to put in that extra kind of work. The film review, live it, breathe it, drink it, all of that.
Yeah, I feel like it really happened after I got injured my freshman year. Like I realized that I don't got a lot of time and not everything's guaranteed. So whatever I got, I just got to take it and roll with it.
Then, so back to some of your college visits. Just kind of tell people who are getting ready to kind of maybe do the same thing, getting into visits coming up the next year or so. How important is it on some of these visits that they for your grades, like your GPA and all that? Is that a big important thing that a lot of the college coaches stress?
Yeah, so I mean, grades are like when they tell you grades are everything, they are. They're from like a 3.6 to a 3.8 is an extra $2,000 in your pocket, or it could be more depending on where you're going. So grades are very important if you want money.
So, what do you think? Like the NIL, is that something that people are offering? They're talking to you about, and they're like saying, "Hey,
Right.
these are options that are available for you, Daniel. We really want you here. What can we do?" That kind of thing.
And you don't got to give us
Right.
you don't got to give us numbers. We're not asking about numbers. I mean, if you want to drop some, go for it. But but just more like how much of that is an emphasis during the recruiting process.
Right.
For me, it's not important. Like NIL is gonna come if you just perform. What I'm focused on is like scholarship money and making sure wherever I go to school, I'm going for free. Which pretty much everywhere I'm going for free.
Past the wrestling and all that, and like you said, the school and all that. What do you have in goal wise for for college, like educational wise? Like, is there something that you're shooting for that is more interesting?
I want to get into engineering, and I think my education in college is going to be super important because you can't wrestle forever, and you got to find a career eventually.
Well, that's good. It's a good perspective, Daniel, because if your wrestling will open doors for you, and which is what it's doing for you, right? Highly recruited. The education, whenever it's all over and the song is over, then you can decide what you want to do. But that's so important. I think the kids out there sometimes they get fixated and they have these dreams, but they don't understand if you don't get an education, then what are you going to do after, right? Even if you wanted to be a coach, even if you wanted to do something, you have to have a mindset that, hey, I got educated, I got, I can read, I can write, I can do math, I can do all these things. So that's really good perspective.
Wrestle forever, I would, trust me.
So are you like like most A plus wrestlers? Are you looking for international after college? Like you have Olympic dreams and all that good stuff.
For sure, I want to run at least one Olympic cycle after I'm done. I was telling my dad I want to wrestle at least until 2032. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
What does your dad say?
He wants me to get a job, but I like wrestling.
Tell us a little bit about your dad. Like how big of a role has your dad played? I mean, we both know your dad. We've known him for a long time, and I mean, he seems like he sacrifices for you guys a lot, taking you guys where you need to go. Tell us how much of a big role your dad's been in your life.
Yeah, my dad's always pushed me since I was little. He pushed me hard, and he made me tough, and he sacrificed so much for me and my family, and that's the reason we're so good. Like he does the extra stuff. He doesn't have to like drive us out to Vegas for a tournament, or drive us, or we used to drive to Dethrone for practice, and he doesn't have to do stuff like that, but he just sacrifices his time and his money for us, and that's the reason the results are showing.
Yeah. So how stoked is he going? Because I'm assuming he's gone on a few visits with you. Like, is he in awe of all of these visits and just checking out the campuses? Man, I wish I could have went to some of these colleges out here, man.
He gets really excited, but he knows how much he sacrificed, and he'll be like, "Oh, this college was cool, but I think you're better than that," or like he'll say stuff like, "So far the visits he's liked them all, but other schools that have hit me up, he's like, you could do better than that."
That's good. I mean, he knows, right? He put a lot of energy into you, and like you said, he sacrificed a lot to get you there. I'm sure your family, they've all been supportive and been right there with you. But at the end of the day, right, it's your choice, and what you decide to do is there for you. Would you be thinking, well, I want to stay closer to the West Coast, or just whatever place gives you the best opportunity to get you a great education? Not no worries about going out somewhere and being away from home, but that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like I want to go out and get a good education and expand my wrestling and just expand my mind. So wherever gives me that opportunity, that's where I'll go. And I need to find a place to live. Like maybe I stay out there, maybe I come back. I don't know.
You think you'll be homesick if you go somewhere Midwest, or you want to try to stay California based or Oregon or?
Yeah, so I've been looking at some pretty close to home schools, but I'm also looking out there. I think I might get a little homesick, but everybody has to grow up, so.
Yeah, that's a good attitude.
Well, and I know you're not probably ready to, and you don't have to, right? Like
No,
talk
no,
about
no,
where
no.
you want to go, but it's are you getting close to making that decision, or is that something you're still like you're going to take your time, give it a little bit more time, and maybe after the season or whatever?
Yeah, I think I have like two more visits in me, and then I'm going to make my decision.
Okay. So what other visits do you already have scheduled to do?
I haven't had them completely scheduled yet, but I want to take a visit out to Michigan, University of Michigan, and then Cornell.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be good.
that'd be good education right there. Cornell Ivy League
Right.
education. And like you said, you like freestyle.
RTC. That's
Yeah, right. You want to roll around with Yanni and Vito, right?
Right, that's crazy.
yeah.
I hope Cornell's listening, right?
Hopefully they have a good engineering program. I don't know if they got a good engineering program.
So they can roll out that red carpet when you show up.
Number one in the country.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
Hey, there you go. Hey, Daniel. So back to your training schedule and stuff like that. Outside of practices, what kind of stuff do you do just on your own to get yourself ready for the season?
Yeah, so it depends on what the goal is at the time. So, like right now, we're kind of in a off-season mode. So, I'll hit my practice, obviously, and then I lift 5 days a week, and then I try to get a little running once a week. But like for Fargo and Who's Number One, I ramp it up a lot. I like for Who's Number One, I got 2 practices a day, my lift, and I got like 4 miles in every day.
Man, that's a dedication to that, right, Daniel? That like you decided, hey, I'm going to put in that energy, that effort. And I think a lot of people sometimes they see the tip of the iceberg. They see Daniel Zepeda at Who's Number One, but they don't see all of the sacrifice, the hard work, the blood, the sweat, the tears that went into what you did in order to get ready for that. And that's commendable for you to do that, right? And like I always tell people, you suffer in silence so that you can shine in the light and you can do what you do. But that's huge. So good on you for doing that, man. Like, hopefully, does that rub off on your brother, or he's like, nah, man, I'm not running for. You're crazy.
It definitely rubs off on him. I feel like he might like to work out more than I do, which is a little crazy. So it does. It's good.
Good influence.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
that's right. He's got something to look up to too, and a ranked number one in the country, big brother, man.
Right? Those are big shoes to fill.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So
I think this next year we'll both be up there.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I think so. Daniel, so I got to ask you, dude. So where does the nickname Sauce come from, man?
I don't really know. DC just gave it to me and I liked it. Everyone liked it, so it just stuck.
So at Super 30, not Super 30, at Who's Number One, we saw you with what was it, like cheetah hair or
Right,
pink
right,
or whatever.
right.
So how do you pick what you're gonna put in your hair, man?
I try to match. So like during high school season, I did that blue lightning bolt because Gilroy's blue, and I knew I was going to be red at Who's Number One. So I was like, all right, I'll do red hair, but it ended up fading into like pink.
Well, when we seen it, we were like, oh, there's the sauce. There it is, right there.
Well, and it's good, man, because you bring
Yeah.
like you're having fun out there. I think from the outside looking in, it looks like you're having fun. I know it's a lot of work, and we all know, like that it is high level stuff. But when you go out there, the confidence, you're just having fun. You're letting it flow, right? You do a little backflip into your little stands at the end of the match. You're just kind of letting it fly, and that's probably what makes Daniel Zepeda, right?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I wrestle like carefree, but that's how you're supposed to wrestle. Like, just go out there and have fun. The result's going to be the result. There's nothing you could do while you're out there.
That's a good attitude. I think that's why you have so much success on the national level, because you'll see certain kids like they're good, they're good at certain tournaments and this and that, but when the bright lights shine, they kind of go into a shell and they just don't look like the same kid that has been before the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, so the work you put in is already the work you put in, and while you're out there, there's nothing you could do to change it. So you might as well just let it fly. And this is all practice. Like, nobody's gonna remember that. Oh, you lost in the Fargo finals. Like right now, they will. But if I go win an Olympic gold medal, nobody's gonna remember that.
Perspective, because then the thing that you're chasing is to be better, not the results right now. Because yeah, those are results right now and they matter, but what you're looking at is long term. You're talking about doing something that very few people ever even try, which is go take a shot at the Olympic trials or do something big like that. And if you have that continued mindset, man, I think we might be able to see you down the road.
Yeah.
Who knows? That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for just to see what I can do, like how I can improve.
So Daniel, so I mean, DC's kind of lived it and done it and all that stuff. What kind of advice does he give, to you or maybe Merrill or the twins, since you guys are getting ready to kind of almost finish up your high school career? Does he pull you guys to the side and give you like really good life advice?
I mean, DC will help us with anything we ask him to. Like, if I tell him, like, Coach, what do you think about this college, or even it could be anything. Like, uh, maybe I'm struggling in a class and I'm not getting along with my teacher or something like that, and I'll just be like, Coach, what do I do? And he'll just give us good advice.
Is he pushing any of you guys to try to get into the fight business, dude, or no?
No, the only thing he tries to push on us is Oklahoma State.
But you don't have no visit out there. You haven't done no visit out there.
Yeah, my dad wants me to. He thinks like it's a wrestling factory, so he wants me to take education before wrestling.
That's good.
Good
That's
advice,
smart. He's
yes.
looking at he's being dad. He's looking out for your future. That's real smart.
So, Daniel, tell us a little bit about the recruiting process. What do you think now that you've experienced it? You've had a couple of visits. I'm sure you've had so many phone calls, so many different people reaching out. What is something you've learned about this process, or something you can pass on that people maybe don't make that same mistake or think about?
Yeah, so some advice I would give is don't get overwhelmed. And if you're starting to get overwhelmed with all the calls, just turn your phone off for a little bit. They'll understand. Like, you don't want to be on the phone all the time, and you don't want to just be talking to college coaches all day. So if you just don't want to answer a call, just don't pick up and just shoot the coach a text. Be like, oh, I'm not okay for a call right now. We could try again later. And a lot of it is like, it could get overwhelming. It could. But you just need to remember, like, you're the person they're trying to go get. And they have to understand, like, I don't want to be on the phone with college coaches all day, or I have a life. I want to go have fun with my friends. So I'm not going to answer the phone right now.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of that is that pressure that they feel, right? Like they want to land a big recruit, right? You're a big deal. If they land you, right, that like I'm the guy who got it done. Well, and I can imagine that is very overwhelming. And hopefully they're putting those barriers so that they can be respectful of your time and your space, so that you'll get to it when you get to it, and eventually you will make a decision. But what other things would you say? Like even just going to the campus, did you feel a lot of pressure? Like as soon as you were there to like put that uniform on, take the pictures, and like, hey man, you want to commit now? You know what I mean? I can't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
I can only imagine.
I'm sure they press you right away, but hey, let's commit, man. Let's get it done.
What's it gonna take? Right?
Yeah, so I don't really like getting pressured. So when I go out there, I just try to have fun with everything. I mean, obviously they're going to poke at you a little bit because they're trying to recruit you. They want you to go there. But you should kind of like, you have to like know that they're going to try to pressure you, but you also like have to not, I would call it like kind of setting a boundary, like, oh, I don't like to be pressured that hard. Like, because I know me personally, I don't like people pushing at me all the time, like, oh, come here, come here, come here. Because my decision is my decision. I just want it to like flow, you know?
Anybody else, like anybody that went with you, did they step into to make sure, like, man, because at the end of the day, you're still a young man, right?
Yeah.
And these are adults talking to you about very adult things, and so they shouldn't put that pressure on you. Of course, you're going to make a decision, but you got to look at all your options. But like, hopefully, your dad or somebody else was like, "Hey, guys, enough with that."
Playing like a buffer almost
Right.
to everything.
Well, the way I picked my colleges was I had to like the people. So nobody really pressed me too hard because if they were to press me too hard, I probably wouldn't have taken that visit.
Good.
So Daniel, so once you actually ultimately make the decision, and you'll do that on your own time, will it be more of a family decision, like you guys will all get together and just kind of have a powwow, or will they kind of just kind of let you choose?
Yeah, so I think everyone should let their parents have a little bit of a say in what they're doing and where they're going because they sacrificed a lot too and they know more than I do. Like maybe they seen something that I didn't. So like I want to make sure my family has a say in it. I mean, ultimately it's my life and I'm the one that has to go live it, but I want my parents to know like you guys are part of this too.
Yeah, that's real smart. So besides wrestling, and we'll transition a little bit. What kind of stuff do you do to kind of get away from wrestling? Have a little bit more a balance with just normal life. What do you like to do?
I got into fishing a little bit. I was on the golf team a little bit last year. And then I like
You're on the golf team.
Nice.
I like yeah, I was.
Were you any good?
No, I'm glad I wrestle.
No, he's shaking his head. No,
Glad I
people.
wrestle.
So what is it about fishing? Because me personally, I don't have the patience to fish. To me, it's just super boring. I just can't do it. So do you like the boringness out of it? Is that what it is?
You just kind of get to sit there and think while you're just waiting for the fish.
Right.
That's
For
good.
sure.
I must have the demons then, because I can't sit there and just think, man. That drives
No,
me
man,
crazy.
look, the
Man.
fish, they get on the line, they don't get on the line, but you're just kind of chilling, right? It's good because it's your time. It's kind of like
That's
a
good,
mental
though.
decompression time, right? It's good. Why? Here's a question: why did you pick
Yeah.
golf? What was the thing about golf? Like, did somebody say, "Hey, let's go try golf"? I mean, why not, right? But
Me and the Cortez twins did it together, so
So out of the three of you, who was the better golfer?
I think Elijah. Isaiah, he's a little clumsy.
That's funny. Look at his wrestling though. You wouldn't say either one of them is clumsy though.
all right, that's funny.
That's funny. Well, that's you. So you guys chose golf. A lot of the kids, like at Buchanan, all that, like they choose the dive team
They
for some
went to the
reason.
dive. They went to go dive their senior year. They went to go diving.
I don't understand the whole dive thing, but
Run around.
that's what they seem to pick as
Right.
far as like a different sport.
That's hilarious. Like, it's a good thing they can wrestle because if you can't, then it's just not gonna work. But
Well, at least you didn't have to wear a little speedo like some of these kids
right,
do.
that's
The dive
crazy.
team, dude.
Yeah, that's
Maybe they chose diving because it's a little more like athletic.
Yes,
probably. I don't know because some of them have like two left feet, right? So they're
Yeah.
flipping around. But like even the golfing, when you guys would go, did you guys like go to different areas and go golf in the tournaments and things like that?
I didn't go to any tournaments because I wasn't good, but it was just good to go hit the balls. Just got there, I tried to smash the ball and it like rolled.
That's fine. See, me and Juan did that. So we were out. When did we go to Vegas? A couple years back.
Yeah.
So we went out and we did the Top Golf.
Yes.
So there's nothing more humbling than going out there and not being able to hit a stupid white ball that's not even moving, dude.
Or even when you swing at it and it just like goes 2 inches, right? Like,
Yeah,
what
it was ridiculous. Nothing's more humbling. I think I tried to do the Happy Gilmore too, and I don't think it even got off the tee. I probably missed it a couple times too. It was terrible.
Yeah, Isaiah tried to do the Happy Gilmore and I was standing off to the left and the ball just shot straight left and hit me in the thigh.
That's funny. Well, good. You got to decompress like that. You got to find ways to do other things and kind of relax when you can and enjoy it. But I'm sure you're like, man, you get back on the mat and you're all business. So that's really good.
All right, Dan. Well, before you wrap everything up, Daniel, why don't you tell some people a few things that nobody would know about you that you want to maybe get out there?
I'm actually not that good at Spanish class, sadly. But I am good at math.
Okay.
You are good at math.
Oh, good.
Well, you didn't need it. You're going
Yeah.
in engineering, so yeah,
Yes.
that's good.
I also have my dual citizenship. Yeah.
To where? I'm assuming Mexico, but
Mexico. I could go wrestle for Team Mexico if I wanted.
There you go. That'd be cool. So is that something that you would you might contemplate doing later, kind of like RBY?
Yeah, so it's all about getting to the World Championships, so that's a big thing. But I also like if I have the option, I want to come represent the U.S. Obviously.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. Hey, that's something that we didn't know
Right,
about here.
right.
So that's good. That's a
man.
good thing to do. Heck yeah.
Daniel, we really appreciate you coming on, man. Like just talking to us. I think some of the kids are gonna watch this and they're gonna be able to relate. Like, hey, he's not just Thanos on the mat. He's a young man going through the same struggles and things that they're going through, right? So I think that's important. But we really appreciate you having you on, right? Make sure you tell your parents to say thank you, and we hope whatever decision you make, right, come back, let us know what you decided to do, right? Whatever you want to go, whatever you're going to do. But we wish you absolutely the best of luck, especially on the season. It's going to be
Thank you.
Yeah, no, Dan. I mean, like I said, we both have known you for a while, and I always used to like kind of joking around with you, but just this conversation, man, I think the maturity you've shown and your mindset that you have is very inspiring to a lot of different kids, and it was a real pleasure to talk to you, man.
Hopefully, I could hop on one more time before I graduate.
Yeah, maybe we'll get you actually in here. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe if you had a cowboy hat or something.
We'll talk
this
to your
year,
dad.
man.
Yeah, maybe when you guys come down for the Doc B, we'll have you on or whatever, for sure. And tell your parents we said thank you for letting you come on, man. We really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
man. Tell your dad hi.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, hopefully one day we get me and my brother on at the same time.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
there
right.
you go.
You tell them. It'd be good. You guys take it easy. Thank you
I'll
for
tell 'em.
everything.